This man is the Reverend Matthew Firth, and yesterday he was invited to give evidence to the Home Affairs Select Committee after he claimed that people were routinely asking for baptism not because they converted to Christianity, but because it would strengthen their asylum claim. Now, as a member of the Church of England for the last 25 years, I'm well aware of the work many parishes do with people seeking asylum. And I'm well aware, having met him in 2018, of Matthew Firth. And let me tell you, he is not a neutral party in this, nor is he even a moderate one. But let's take a listen.
Significant groups of mainly Iranian and Syrian young male asylum seekers were being brought to me in sizable cohorts.
What numbers? How big?
At a time, sort of, 6 or 7 people brought to me by people saying that these need baptism. These people need baptism.
I just want to be clear, you said 6 or 7 people.
At a time,
often?
yeah.
At a time. So how often was this happening? Every week?
It
6
would,
or 7?
It would be sort of, every 2-3 weeks you'd get sort of that number of people being...
The same people being brought back or different people?
Well, different people.
Right, so over a 2-year period, you're saying 6 or 7 people were being brought every week?
In batches. Every 2 or 3 weeks there would be a batch of 6 people, that sort of number, brought to me, yeah.
6 or 7 different people every 2 or 3 weeks? There's not a priest in the country who thinks that's true, except maybe Reverend Firth, if he's bought his own garbage. Now, in my opinion, there's no way in hell this man should ever have been invited to give evidence on this or any other subject. As I said, I met Reverend Firth just once in 2018 as part of a Christian student group. We'd asked to use St Cuthbert's Church in Darlington for our evening away, and not only were we granted permission, but the then new vicar kindly invited us to dinner with him, my first ever Nando's. Now, on a personal level, Reverend Firth was very friendly to me and the student group I was with, but things became pretty awkward when, over dinner, he declared his love for Donald Trump, after which I decided to change the subject. Since that time, I've watched from a healthy distance as he's promoted far-right talking points like climate denial, fox hunting, theocracy, anti-wokeism, Islamophobia, anti-communism, the perceived decline of Western civilization, and, of course, reams and reams of nationalism and monarchism. And no wonder he's promoting far-right stuff, because more and more, that's who he's listening to and spending time with. From the historian David Starkey, who again and again espouses racist views, to the actor and musician Lawrence Fox.
They have put something in the water, they seek a cure for the conversation, they stole a march on your indecision.
Who only a few weeks ago lost a libel case he brought against someone who called him racist because he's a racist. So I guess we shouldn't be surprised that last night Reverend Firth appeared on the far-right TV channel GB News, nor that he's apparently become besties with Rishi Sunak. And that's why we need to be aware of who these people are, because you can expect people like Matthew Firth to become darlings of the powerful. But if we don't make ourselves aware of their background and ideological positions, we'll continue slipping further and further into the clutches of the far right. But there is hope. Remember I said I met Matthew Firth when he was vicar of St Cuthbert's Church in Darlington? Well, he left that church, and the Church of England as a whole, 2 years later, and joined the fringe conservative Free Church of England. And here's the press release the Diocese of Durham put out when he later made those claims about asylum seekers and bogus baptisms. We robustly reject all the allegations being made by Matthew Firth, who resigned from his role at St Cuthbert's in 2020, for which he has provided no evidence. At no time did he raise concerns locally or with senior clergy about the number of asylum seekers being baptised at the church, and produces no evidence of being bullied by local church members in relation to this matter. His claims of the church being a conveyor belt of asylum seeker baptisms are nonsense. Since 2014, our records show that at St Cuthbert's, 13 adults and 2 infants who may have been asylum seekers were baptised, 7 of whom by Mr. Firth himself. As priest in charge, it was his responsibility to check the authenticity of candidates. If there was any sign of anything amiss, Mr. Firth should have reported this, and he did not. If he had raised any concerns with senior staff during his brief spell at St. Cuthbert's, they would have been taken seriously and investigated. He did not. We are extremely proud to have St. Cuthbert's, which is now under excellent leadership, as one of our churches, and proud of the valuable work all our churches in Darlington do to ensure asylum seekers and refugees are welcomed. They work closely together to undertake this work with care and thought. Now, those of you who follow me will know that I am not afraid to call the church out on its nonsense. But this is an excellent response. And frankly, I'm glad Matthew Firth decided to leave the Church of England. Because if it walks like the far right and quacks like the far right, it's the far right. Good riddance.